Holo Acsess network standing by. All Republic communications are encrypted.
Okay, so for the last time, hello everybody. My name's Opa. This is Scrub.
Hi.
Welcome to the Holo Acsess Network podcast. Scrub, I swear to God, if you're telling me I'm cutting in and out, I'm gonna...
No, you're good. You're good. I would have said something already.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, as I said, this is Scrub.
Hi.
Hi. Today we're talking about the Galactic Senate and their very nice furniture and their very nice building and all the shitty people that are in it. It's a good time. So, Scrub, what's your opinion on the Galactic Senate? What's your deal with them anyway? What's your strong hate for these people?
Okay. I don't hate is a very strong word, Opie. I don't really hate the Galactic Senate. I think they are just incredibly inept at their responsibilities.
Well, to be fair, there are only, I think I'm getting this right, about 10,000 individual worlds that need to be governed, and the Senate is in charge of every single one of them. Every single one of them having representation and whatnot. So, you know.
Honestly, that's 10,000 too many.
Yeah. Well, that's the system that they're working with, and it's kind of fucked up. I'm not gonna lie. So, you know how the actual Senate got started, right?
Actually, no. I like to have a history lesson if you care to tell.
Okay. So there was this thing called the Rusan Reformation.
Oh boy.
Yeah, this is gonna get good shit. So back in the day, this is legend material, by the way, but the Rusan Reformation is still a thing that happened over the course of God knows how long. Basically, there was this thing called the New Sith War, where this lovely individual by the name of Darth Bane was responsible for ending the Battle of Rusan, the 7th Battle of Rusan specifically, with the Thought Bomb, which was so powerful that it literally murdernated every fucking Force-sensitive individual on the planet that they were fighting on. And through that, and the literal thousands of years of shit going down, the Rusan Reformation was effectively created. And all the power that the, Supreme Chancellor had during that time was very, very cut short. And all of the power, it decided, oh, well, instead of one person having control of the entirety of the Republic, why don't we just let, thousands upon thousands of individuals control all of the planets through their own individual, politics and whatnot, which led to a lot of fucking corruption.
Yeah, because it's totally not like individual planets have their own agendas.
Yeah, it's almost like that happens. Tatooine being a part of the Republic, but also still continuing to sell and buy people into slavery, even though slavery is supposed to be illegal.
And working with the Hutts.
Working with the Hutts, drug trafficking, human trafficking.
It's not drug trafficking. It's spice trafficking. You got to get it right, Opie. Come on, this is Star Wars we're talking about.
Scrub, I'm going to tell you a little secret that nobody else knows. Spice is basically space cocaine.
I'm aware of that.
It's space cocaine. It's space cocaine. That's all it is. But it doesn't matter because there are a shit ton of drugs in Star Wars, like death sticks and spice and all that shit. But nobody cares still because, the Outer Rim isn't exactly a place where people have, what they call morals. And, they sell drugs to literally everybody out there, especially on Nar Shaddaa. Never go to Nar Shaddaa, by the way. It's a terrible fucking place. Very fun for bachelor parties, though, but never go to Nar Shaddaa.
Jeez. My only thing is I wonder, like, there has to be, and I'm sure there are. There's like actually, no, I don't know any instances of like any Senate members being, besides anything pertaining to the prequel era, what we know, and during Clone Wars, beforehand, do we know of any like Senate members or government officials who that aren't like corrupt? This is so dumb of me to ask, like, who are corrupted, basically, who have worked with, say, like the crime families before the time that we know of?
I don't think there is reasonably any individual in the Senate who can actually say that they are not corrupt in any way, shape, or form.
Fair.
Maybe you could debate Bail Organa, but Bail Organa also, collaborated with and funded terrorists, aka the rebellion.
Well, technically speaking, it's just an insurgency.
Right.
It's an insurgency rather than terrorism, honestly.
Yeah. Potato. But I don't think, going back to that, I don't think you can reasonably say that there's actually a person who is not at least somewhat corrupt or has not done dealings with any shady individuals.
Very fair. But, like, at the same time, being in a position that they are, like, at least with the set of members that we know of, especially during the Clone Wars, could they help it?
It's actually a really good question. I don't think so. I don't think they really could. Because, like, during the time near the Galactic Empire's reign, the only way that they could realistically help people, like, okay, so the entirety of Alderaan is basically, like, the Space Peace Corps. Like, they're humanitarians, they go from planet to planet, they help out people who are in desperate need of, assistance and whose planets are on the verge of being destroyed and going through natural disasters and shit. But during the reign of the Empire, the only way certain people could have access to these goods or access to humanitarian aid was through piracy. Because, the Empire is really iffy about humanitarians going to save individuals who are, not wanting to cooperate with the Empire and not wanting to subject their planet to years upon years of slavery, only for them to then turn to the rebellion and do all that all over again. And it's a really shitty situation too. Even back during the Clone Wars, several individuals in the Senate worked with the Hutts, they worked with the Pikes, they worked with the Shadow Collective, they worked with literally everybody. Every criminal organization and every, organizational entity that did illegal shit like running spice or trafficking people. It was all bad back in the day. And then Darth Maul kind of, cleared up that situation with his own, little organization of his own. But yeah, I don't think there's really anybody that can say that they haven't done deals with pirates. Not even Satine can say that.
Wait, okay. I knew you were going to bring up... Okay. So, context, Satine Kryze is my favorite Star Wars character for ample reasons. Yeah. People might raise a few eyebrows at that, and I have a very good explanation why, but I'm not going to get into that right now. However, I knew you were going to bring her up. Okay, I knew you were going to do this to me.
Yeah.
However, yes.
Go on.
No. No, I'm waiting to hear what you said. Like I'm like I acknowledge. Okay, at least I don't remember to my knowledge that she worked with pirates in the show.
Right.
I don't think she ever did.
You don't think she ever did?
No. At least I don't remember.
No mercenaries, no pirates, no individuals of lower brow behavior?
No, actually.
No.
What were you thinking?
I was thinking about that whole shtick about the, it was that dumb plot line with the juice.
Oh, no, that wasn't her. Okay, no, that was all Prime Minister Almec. If anything, Satine, in my opinion, does... Okay, she is like the least corrupt political leader that there is. I don't even know... I wouldn't even consider her a corrupt leader at all. She's very open and honest about how she leads. You know, there's nothing that she's necessarily hiding, except Corky. Anyway.
Son of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
No. That was all Prime Minister Almec. Now, he was corrupt. He was the reason why. He was going and digging his little grubby hands into the black market, trying to get supplies and trying to be a little savior for Mandalore. And it's like, your heart's in the right place, dude, but you ended up killing, like, children. That you ended up getting them killed because they're poisoned.
Children and causing them to die, so that's kind of a red flag.
Yeah, it was just, that's corruption right there, in desperation. But like even Satine like said like they could have found other ways. Like even Padme was offering to talk about trading with Mandalore through Naboo. Like,
yeah, but Almec had that savior complex, and he was like, "No, I have to do this. I have to be the savior of Mandalore." And it's like, bro, you killed children.
I'm like, Almec, what the hell were you thinking? It's like, it literally is like that whole arc was, what the hell were you thinking, basically?
I know, that's really weird. But technically, she does have some association with some, murderers and whatnot.
Okay, she does association by it's like I forgot the word. It's like it's simply by association that she knows these people, but isn't gonna do anything to them. You know what I mean? Like we're talking like
just allowing them to exist.
Allowing them to exist. So like not. She's not gonna go around and kill them because remember she's pacifist.
Oh, that's no fun.
Padme has no problem doing that though.
Listen, I imagine if there was anyone actively called Death Watch who was trying to take my fucking spot as like a ruler of Mandalore, I would feel like they would be a very serious threat, and I feel like that those people would, have to die.
Here's the thing. Remember, they can handle Death Watch. That's why they were so desperate in getting Maul's help to overthrow Satine.
Yeah, that's true.
But anyway, back to the Senate. Yeah. So let's talk about Senate individuals, shall we?
This will be a good conversation.
Oh, this is gonna be great. Starting with Padme Amidala, who did not commit war crimes. She totally did not commit war crimes.
Yeah, she... okay. Okay, first of all, I like Padme, alright? I like her. I like her a lot. The Senate's fucked up. I understand that. But why would you allow Ian McDiarmid to be elected as the supreme fucking chancellor? You look at that man for more than 10 seconds and you can tell that he's evil. But like, the entirety of the Phantom Menace kind of gets fucked up from a certain point of view. Because here you have 13, 14-year-old Padme, who is in a position where she has to address her claims to the Senate. Some reason, I don't know why, the Trade Federation has a representative in the Galactic Senate. Which is the first problem that I have with this whole shindig. Because the Trade Federation having a representative in the Senate is the equivalent of having Amazon or Walmart in the Senate. right?
Okay, yeah.
So, like,
I
you
can't
have
believe
a
you said Amazon or Walmart.
Amazon or Walmart. It doesn't matter which one, because they're both multi-billion-dollar corporations. Okay?
Okay,
Having
fair.
Amazon or Walmart having an actual legitimate representative in the Senate is a fucking dystopian fever dream. And imagine, okay, so like, imagine Amazon, right? They were blockading an island nation. They illegally invaded. They tried to tell the leader of that country to. Jeff Bezos just goes to this random ass fucking island. And then he says, oh, hey, give me the right to own your entire island, and it'll make this invasion legal. They say no. They go to the United Nations and say, oh, hey, that dickbag Jeff Bezos just fucking invaded my home, is starving my people, and is responsible for the torture of millions. And then some dickbag comes out of nowhere and he says, I object, there's no proof. Despite the fact that there were 2 representatives for the fucking Supreme Chancellor right there who could totally, 100% prove that this story was true, but apparently they can't have their voice anywhere near the Senate because that's putting religion and politics together, despite the fact that they were actively chosen by the Supreme Chancellor to go to Naboo in the first place and try to deal with the Trade Federation, who they did not know was under the control of a Sith Lord, who just so happens to be the fucking guy that you're putting into a position of power.
Oh, bye. You went on a rant. I mean,
Yes.
Listen. Valid. Everything you just said is valid.
Yeah, I know it's valid. I've been thinking about this for the past 4 days, maybe a week, since we talked about doing the Senate bit.
Bruh.
Bruh, indeed.
Ay.
So, like, not only is the Senate, in this sense, responsible for actively, like, refuting the claims of the Queen of Naboo, who is literally being brought up to you on her own, by her own will, to tell you about the invasion that is happening right now, that you are doing nothing about, and then is manipulated by the senator of her planet into voting no confidence against Chancellor Valorum, who is then replaced by the guy who is convincing you to be a traitor to the Republic, and who is also the guy who is responsible for invading your planet. Politics in Star Wars is fucking crazy. Then 10 years later.
I mean, at least the
10?
politics in Star Wars is far more interesting than anything we've got going on in the real world. But we're not here to talk about the real world, honestly.
So 10 years later, same queen, who is now a senator of Naboo, taking her former boss's job. She almost gets assassinated.
Yes.
And her replacement, while she goes back to Naboo, so she can hide, go into hiding, because this new bill is coming up on whether or not the Republic wants to make an army or not. I fucking hate this situation. She chooses Jar Jar Binks as a representative.
I knew you were gonna. I was about to bring this up. I was waiting to hear you bring up Jar Jar, but you mean, excuse me, Sith Lord Jar Jar.
Darth Jar Jar.
Darth Jar Jar.
Did you see that Lego bit yet?
No, I don't. Which one?
Oh, it's a new fucking like Lego show where it's like roles that are reversed. So like the rebellion becomes like the Galactic Republic or something like that, and they have AT-ATs. Ewoks become bounty hunters and they're flying around in Y-Wings. And then fucking Darth Jar Jar comes out of the Millennium Falcon and says, Misa going to hurt you, sir. And it's like, that's amazing. This is canon now. 10 out of 10. I greatly appreciate this. This is now 100% canon. I love it. It's great.
Bruh.
Bruh. But yeah, Padme allows Jar Jar Binks to be her, voice in the Senate. And instead of doing what he's supposed to do, as in being her voice in the Senate, he instead is manipulated by Palpatine into giving him emergency powers so he can create an army that they already have in secret. I think I'm having an aneurysm. Because this is so insane. Because Palpatine planned out everything having to do with this whole consumption. So Palpatine manipulates the Queen into giving him the ability to run for Supreme Chancellor, creates a secret army by using the Kaminoan cloners to clone a bounty hunter so he can have an army for the future for when his new apprentice, Darth Piranus, creates another army to create a false flag war so the two of them can take over the galaxy, but not actually because, Count Dooku gets killed by Anakin and he takes over the galaxy alongside Palpatine. I hate the Senate so much. The fact that these motherfuckers allowed all this to happen is so fucking bad.
And
at the beginning, they were all chanting, "We want Palpatine," in The Phantom Menace. I really hate it.
I mean, I feel like it's just... I don't even know. And me remembering that it's like, we want Palpatine.
We want Palpatine. They wanted Palpatine. And they got Palpatine. And then Palpatine turned out to be a Sith Lord. And he turned the entire Republic into the Galactic Empire. Isn't that great?
But also, what does it say about them? My question is, do any of the Galactic Senate members, like the majority of them, do they not have their own, do they not have a backbone? Do they not have their own agency without trying to carry their own personal agenda, which it's not possible, but...
Here's the answer. No. Because there would be no fucking... There's no way that any of them have a backbone. I don't think even Padme has a backbone, to be completely honest with you. Because for someone who's supposed to be like this, leader of Naboo, like a senator of Naboo, she has no backbone. Because she's in charge of putting Palpatine in this position of power. She then is in charge of the Army or Military Creation Act, which would effectively create a military or an army for the Galactic Republic, which would effectively cause these motherfuckers to have a massive army. She was responsible for both of those things. Not only for the fact that she was manipulated by Palpatine into putting him into power, but she chose the absolute most wrong person to ensure that Palpatine did not receive any more power than he was already supposed to have. And that's why I think Jar Jar is a Sith Lord. By the way, if they actually put it in canon that Jar Jar was responsible for putting Palpatine into power because he was a Sith Lord, or if they put it into that Lego series, I will gladly appreciate that, because that is...
I think everyone would lose their mind, honestly. You're like, we knew it! Ha ha! Gotcha!
Who are you people? Yeah, it would be great. But as for the rest of the Senate, I'm not completely sure, if any of them have actually any backbones or any ability to speak up for themselves or have any of their, like, own moral philosophies or their own, like, morality. Because it's all about money. Just like in real life politics right now, it's all about money.
It really
Whoever
is.
they're getting paid by is what they support.
You know what I just realized? I'm thinking of the speeches. Okay, to be fair, some of the best speeches in Star Wars happened in the Galactic Senate. I know Padme definitely has some really iconic ones.
Yeah.
And she's a great public speaker. Yeah, she's great. And I mean, and the same thing with Satine. Well, she didn't have a speech. She was pleading her case. But even then, she was very, very, like, she was on her feet pretty well.
Yeah.
Until Palpatine was like, no, I'm gonna shut her up right now and, just literally throw, like, bombshells at her that, hey, a dear friend of yours just died, unfortunately, which is why we're gonna occupy your planet, because you need our help. And she's like, no! It's just like, no, don't send anyone to, like, do not send troops to Mandalore. Like, we can help ourselves. It's fine. And Palpatine's like, voting go brrr.
Voting go brrr.
Oh my gosh.
They're going to put it to a vote to see if we can legally occupy your planet. Kind of like in episode 1. It's like poetry. It fucking rhymes.
Rhymes. I can't. If anything, there was another, like, I'm thinking of this one character. I can't remember who she was, but she had blue skin. I loved her, like, outfit. I don't know if she was on the colder planets, but huh?
Yeah, she was on one of the colder planets in the Clone Wars. I think she's supposed to be like George Lucas's character's daughter or something like that, because George Lucas is fucking crazy.
Why not? Because, like, she was really, like, pretty good, and I think she was also one of the one of the few politicians that weren't corrupt. So it's like Padme was not necessarily corrupt, but she did commit war crimes. Satine is just very open and honest about her views and stances. She's definitely not corrupt, or at least doesn't intend to be corrupt.
Right.
Bail Organa is our cinnamon boy.
He is the ultimate cinnamon boy. He's like, oh, I've never committed a war crime in my life. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about. I only funded an insurgency. That's it.
I'm just a humanitarian that sometimes occasionally funds terrorists who blow up massive space stations filled with millions of people.
Insurgents, not terrorists. There's a distinct difference, Opie. Insurgency, not a terrorism.
I'm pretty sure whenever you get to the point where you blow up a moon-sized space station with a vast majority of the Imperial elite aboard, along with millions of people, that's called terrorism.
I mean, that's also a rebellion. To be fair, it's a rebellion. Because let's be honest, who didn't not like the Empire at the time?
Well, I imagine Palpatine had something to say about it.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's my baby. Why did you do that?
Why would you do that? Mon Mothma?
Oh, Mon Mothma. She was also funding the insurgency, whatever the fuck that means.
Okay, yeah. So, what are your thoughts on her? I feel like she's got hidden intentions.
She does.
Yeah.
She definitely does. Like, she's one of the Coruscant elite. She definitely has some sort of, hidden intent for the rebellion. But by the end of, like, Return of the Jedi, she becomes an active participant in the Galactic Rebellion, to the point where she actively just, is one of the main people in charge, aside from Admiral Akbar.
I see.
But yeah, like, she's the one that practically planned out the Death Star run, the second one at least. And she was also the one who ordered the Bothans to obtain the second Death Star schematics, which a lot of Bothans died to receive that information. I didn't know if you knew that or not. But as for like Andor season 1 and season 2, which should be out like, in the next couple of years or something like that, she definitely has some sort of secret agenda that she's keeping from everybody, because she's not only funding the rebellion through her own pocket, but she's also managing to give them the funds that they need to be able to do whatever they want. And she, fun fact, actually was the original creator of the rebellion alongside Padme and Bail Organa, and like a handful of other people, like back during the Clone Wars, which is just chef's kiss, by the way. It's great.
I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens with her.
Mm-hmm. It's all great. Did you ever see those deleted scenes, by the way?
Which ones?
The rebellion meetup talks in episode 3.
Oh, yeah, I did. I do remember.
Yeah, they're really fucking great. So for those of you who do not know, Bail Organa, Padme Amidala, and Mon Mothma, they all meet with several other individuals who are in the Senate, and everybody's talking about how they're afraid that Palpatine's going to keep his position in power even after the Clone Wars end. So, like, after Count Dooku's dead, after General Grievous is dead, after, all of the Separatists are dead, or if they are captured, they think, oh yeah, Palpatine's just going to keep his position in power, so there's nothing that we can really do about it. So they all come up with this idea of like, oh hey, he might keep his position in power, but we still can do something about it. We're gonna make Separatist 2 Electric Boogaloo, and we're gonna create like hidden rebel cells all over the place. We're gonna take on this new republic under the Palpatine regime. We're gonna do all this cool shit. And Padme's like, yo, are you trying to say we're gonna start another Clone Wars? Because that's not really what I'm about.
Yeah.
And then she starts up the delegation of 2,000, and she's like, oh hey, there's a couple of thousand planets out there that don't want you to, be an emperor, or be like, the guy that's in charge of literally everything. So why are you doing this? And he's like, no, don't worry. I'll just give up my position after Grievous is dead. I promise. I swear it. Fingers crossed. I swear it.
Doubt.
What else about the Senate can we talk about? There's not a lot really to talk about, all things considered. I mean, there's a couple of thousand individuals in the Senate. Not many of them actually have any speaking roles aside from a handful of senators and representatives and other individuals who, may or may not be corrupt in some way, shape, and form. Everybody's already associated with criminal organizations, criminal gangs.
True.
Slavers,
Clovis is one we didn't mention, and I'm surprised we didn't mention Clovis.
I don't want to talk about Clovis.
I knew you don't want to talk about him.
I don't want to talk about Clovis. His entire... No, like, okay, look. I understand the banking clan shit is, like, extremely important to the story, because the banking clans were directly affiliated to Palpatine's old master, Plagueis, and that's how he got the funds to be able to fund the entirety of the Clone Wars, and that's how he got the funds to be able to fund the entirety of the clone army for the Republic. But I shit you not, the whole Clovis thing pisses me off to no end, because Padme actively knows that Clovis is trying to get with her, and she's actively doing this to try and get somewhere, to the point where she can actively understand what's going on in the Senate and how he's affiliated with, the Separatists and whatnot, because he clearly is. I mean, fucking look at him.
Oh, and then you got Annie. Oh my god.
She's doing all of this directly in front of Anakin, and Anakin obviously is pissed because his wife is literally chatting up with this random guy, and he's like, yo, what the fuck's all this about? Why are you, like, chatting up with this random-ass guy? And she's like, oh, don't worry about it. And he's like, oh, I'm gonna fucking worry about it.
Yeah, you can't. No, okay. To be fair, on Anakin's part, I absolutely understand Annie here. Padme, like, okay, that should be a conversation for another video. But
Right.
I am totally on Anakin's side, that I can totally understand his concerns for Padme in regards to the situation. He has every right to be concerned. It's like, no, you're going on a date with another man. You're my wife.
And then he beats the shit out of Clovis after he tries to make a move on Padme.
Low key, kind of refreshing.
And then he says the most nonchalant, ass-backwards shit imaginable. This motherfucker literally looks at this 6-foot-tall, completely jacked Anakin Skywalker, who is a literal military combatant, and says the words, "You gonna fight without your Jedi tricks?" And Anakin's like, okay, and then decks him in the mouth with his robot fist. And it's like, motherfucker, you asked for that!
To be fair, he did.
With a robot hand to punch you in the face!
Yeah. Yeah, Clovis was not, Clovis is not that great. In conclusion about the Senate, after having this entire conversation.
Yeah. They suck. Basically. They're corrupt. They deal with criminal organizations. They don't give a shit about anybody aside from themselves. And even the people who are relatively decent are also shitty people, with the exception of Satine. That's it.
And Padme, to an extent. And Padme to a certain extent.
And to a certain extent, Padme, but she's also kind of a dick.
Wait, what about Palpatine?
Palpatine, everybody already knows about Palpatine. He's extremely corrupt. Motherfucker works for, he actively commands every, he's playing both sides of a war that he constructed.
Okay, so we're basically saying we don't even hate Palpatine. He just outsmarts everyone because everyone else is dumb.
Yeah, everybody else is dumb. He outsmarts Padme. He outsmarts the Jedi. He outsmarts the fucking Senate. He outsmarts the entire galaxy. Even the fucking wisest Jedi in the entirety of the Jedi Council did not suspect a fucking thing until he was on Kashyyyk, dropped his cane, and had a miniature heart attack because he could feel the lives of all the Jedi across the galaxy being murder-nated by the clones.
Murder-nated?
The man is just that good.
And on that note...
We're ending here. Thank you for joining this podcast. I want you guys to hit that like button, hit that notification bell, comment if you are so, obliged to do so, and also subscribe to my OnlyFans if you want to, because I still have one and I didn't.
There is no OnlyFans. Don't we cannot keep having these conversations, Opie. You do not have an OnlyFans. He does not have an OnlyFans. Don't listen to him.
I do actually. I do.
No, he does not.
I made one.
No, he does not. No, he
Put
didn't.
it in the description.
No, I don't believe you. And the next time we're on, I don't believe you.
You don't believe me. You don't believe that I made an OnlyFans specifically for this joke, and I am not going to put it in this damn description. You do not believe that I made an OnlyFans for this bit.
No.
I did.
I don't believe you. I still don't believe you until you prove it.
I did.
Wait a minute.
Goodbye, everybody.